Dr. Mukoro please take the stage? You have 10 minutes.
Good morning. I want to also stand on existing protocol because of want of time. I will start with an introduction, and that is to say that when you live in so much affluence, in the midst of so much poverty, you are not safe. The issue with the Nigerian government as of today is that there is so much gap between those that have and those that don't have. I live in Lekki in Lagos. Lekki ab initio was a slum that was reclaimed. When NSAS came, those that are still in the slum, they saw those living in those big estates as the government, because for proximity, they are the people they could easily see. So you began to hear stories of people invading the big estates in Lekki. The fact is this: when there is so much gap between the poor and the rich, there is no way there can be progress in the country. So one of the things I am going to talk about this current administration to do is to try as much as possible to bridge that gap between the poor and the rich. According to the African Development Bank, the middle class represents about 25% of the Nigerian population, the upper class 6%. It means that 71% make up the number of those who are poor. But it will be shocking to note that as of today, the middle class has been completely eroded. So that now you have those that have and those that do not have. I think the president must, as a matter of urgency, try as much as he can to bridge that gap. On fuel subsidy removal, yes, we all agree to the fact that fuel subsidy should be removed. But the fact is that before the removal, there are some things I would rather think the president should put in place so that there will be no hardship, too much hardship felt by the common man in the street. One of those is one, revitalize moribund refineries across the country to stop importation of fuel. Number two, government should improve the quality of life of workers and the poorest of the poor in the society. Number three, government should redirect the use of subsidy funds to improve the life of the poor in the society. Number four, government should provide palliatives in the area of food, transportation, and power. I think if the government does this, it will go a long way to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal. On the issue of unemployment, there is this massive unemployment currently felt by the citizens in the country. Nigeria is blessed with human and natural resources, but due to bad leadership and corruption, Nigerians are yet to feel the impact of the nation's wealth. I think this aspect has to be looked into critically by the current administration. Moribund industries such as textile, automobile, and agro-produce should be revived. This will also help in giving employment to those who are unemployed. Power supply is the backbone of small and medium enterprises, as mentioned by the President in his inaugural speech. And we advise that other sources of energy and renewable energy such as nuclear, solar, and wind should also be employed. On diversification of economic activities, I grew up in Delta Steel Company, Owia Alaja, and today that company is grounded. And the major reason why that company is grounded is that it is very far from the source of raw material. Study group 3 we were in Algeria, and one thing we noticed was that the regions, the government looks at the region and looks at what you are naturally endowed with. And based on that, industries around that is set up in your region. So you don't have to move raw materials from one end of the country to another end. So I think that should also be looked into by the government. Then this present government must know and distinguish that there's a big difference between politics and governance. In the president's inaugural speech, he said, "All I see are Nigerians." He should balance politics and governance. So in giving appointment, he should not focus only on members of his political parties. He should look for Nigerians who are capable and able in spite of political affiliation. On security, the Nigerian border is porous. I've had cause to travel by road outside Nigeria, and when you do that, you will notice that some of our borders, you will see the demarcation, you will see tires, you will see blocks, you will see plants. The government should effectively utilize and harmonize. The government should utilize and harmonize data generated by data collecting bodies like banks, hospitals, passport offices, security agencies. This will enhance easy identification of Nigerians. And by the time you know who is who and where they stay, security will be easily tackled. The president should also look into the massive recruitment of security personnel like the Nigerian police force, which I believe are seriously understaffed. Then the nation's criminal justice should be adhered to. The nation's criminal justice should be adhered to. There should be a clear-cut investigation before a suspect is arrested, detained, and charged to court. Because we find out that most of our correctional centers, you see people who for flimsy reasons are just charged and detained, and because they are poor or they come from very poor background, they cannot fight for themselves or seek justice. So, in summary, in conclusion, the current administration should find a way to, as a matter of urgency, bridge the very wide gap between the rich and the poor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mukoro. You did that within 9 minutes, so that was good. You saved us time. I want to congratulate and appreciate every one of the panelists, beginning each presenter,